This map first impressions video is brought to you by the Farmer Klein YouTube channel. Please like, subscribe, and comment. Guys, and welcome back to another map first impressions video. Today we're going to take a relook at Emerald Coast. This is going to be the third release of Emerald Coast, and typically I don't take a look at maps more than once, but in this case I'm making an exception for a few reasons. One, the map location for the download has changed. The place where this map was originally uploaded in version 1 release has basically ceased operations, sadly. So this map is now being hosted at a completely different website, and there will be a link to download the map in the description below. Second, there has been several changes with respect to how you start the map out. The starting equipment, basically the starting land, this whole starting scenario has changed fairly significantly from the first iteration of this map, and there's a few other really cool features that have been added since its initial release. So I thought, what the hey, let's go ahead and fire up a new video for this, version 3.0, and basically relaunch the map as if it is first coming out. So when you download the map for the first time, you will have a zip file where you need to unzip, because there is a map and a few mods that are included that need to be a part of the mod folder. So let's go ahead and take a look at those. So here you go. I've got the unzip me opened up here. So the Emerald Coast unzip me.zip. And in here we have the map itself. And then we have several mods that are a part of the map. We have the Brock bin, above ground storage, the Brant Auger, Farm King Auger, the Razwood Factory, a Gsi bin, and the Harvest Store silo. So go ahead and select all of these and unzip them into your mod folder. That way you will have everything that you need, and the map will look exactly how it does when I load my copy up. Something else that is in the map itself, in the map zip file, is a nice text file giving you some background information on the map, explaining how certain functions and features work on the map. This is an excellent resource to take a look at and reference from time to time if you just so happen to have either forgotten an aspect of this video, or there just happens to be something that I managed to miss. Something that is new with version 3 is dynamic mud. So dynamic mud basically introduces the concept of muddy terrain, but what's dynamic about it is, depending if you play with seasons or without, is how the mud behaves. Without season, the mud doesn't appear until it rains, and then the ground can get muddy. But not all the ground is muddy, just certain areas is muddy. But then again, there will be other areas that are always muddy because there's just kind of permanent water puddles lying around. If you play with seasons, on the other hand, it will basically take the ground moisture into consideration and then basically have more mud, more of a muddy effect, the wetter the ground is. The Gsi bin and Brock bins are being provided because they use a new script by GTX that allows you to store just one grain at a time in the bin. So let's say you put corn into a bin. You're only going to be able to store corn in that bin until you empty it. Now once you empty it, you can put canola in there. But again, you can only store canola in there until you empty it. So that is pretty cool. We also have several other cool features and functions that have changed since the start of the first release. Let's go ahead and close this out and jump on into the map and start taking a look. So when we load up the map for the first time, we need to make sure that we pick the mods that are included. We have above ground storage, we have the Brant Auger, the Brock bin, Farm King Auger. We're going to go ahead and activate the DLCs. Sometimes CCS 101 has been known to include equipment in the DLCs with your starting equipment. Harvest Store Silo, Gsi Bin, Razwood Factory. This map is fully seasons prepared. We're not going to use seasons in this tour, but do note that this map is fully seasons prepared with a custom seasons geo. There is no need to use a add-on geo. This map has a custom geo already built into it to be reflective of this particular area in Florida. So we're going to go ahead and fire up a couple other mods that we typically use during our walk-arounds. And let's go ahead and fire it up. We'll pull up the log so we can see the map loading up. This map the season does include the ability to use cotton and sugarcane. Those are both crops that are real-life crops in Florida, so they are available in the geo. And there we go. So this map does include with seasons custom textures for the various seasons, so that is something else to note. And ignore the warning there about the non-CPU collision mesh. That is because when we start up this map, we do start with some horses that are on the map. We don't own the horse pin right now, so we can't see them in our animals screen, but they are there, and that's where that CPU mesh comes in. That is not a map error, that is related to giants. Let's go ahead and take a look at the map itself. See, the predominant part of the farming is going to be done in the lower half of the map because this area up here is a giant forest. So about a third of the map is giant forest. If you're into forestry, you will have plenty of trees to cut down and sell off. See, we have our standard crops here on the map. If we go ahead and take a look at the lands, we are in new farmer mode, and you will notice we don't own any land. That is part of the intended setup for the map. But what we do own, we own a ton of equipment down here. $3.4 million worth at last count of equipment down here, so we can sell that off and get ourselves a nice little nest egg to start buying our own farms and our own land. Let's take a look and see what some of these farms and farmland is going to cost us. So we have the Arable Farm here. $97,000, almost $98,000. It is separate from the horse area, which is another $90,000. We have the cow and sheep farm, $283,000. It includes field 22. And then we have the pig area. Now, I've got a pre-release copy of this map, and I'm thinking the pricing here on the pig area might be a little off, $680,000. I'm guessing this is going to be a little bit more in line with the other farms in final release, but that includes field 16, pig area, and several buildings. Let's take a look at some of these other lands. So we have fields 17, 18, and 19, $250,000. Got the biggest field on the map, 23, for $977,000. Area 24 includes a grass field, $344,000. And speaking of grass, there are just 3 mowable fields on the map. We've got one up here. We've got this big grass field here and a little triangle down here. The rest of the grass on the map is not mowable. It's very important to understand. You can't go over here and mow this. This is not mowable. If you want to use this, you need to buy it, plow it up, and put grass in if you want to put grass and mow grass down here. Speaking of that area, we have $111,000 there. This big grass field, $384,000. Let's take a look at some of these areas in the forest. 621, 486. Small area here, which includes kind of the forestry buildings, is $46,000. Now there is a little section of the forest right here that we can't buy. That is because that includes a forestry division, part of the state of Florida's property. It is kind of an observation tower just to oversee the forest, look for forest fires and the such. And then also talking about land we can buy, there is an empty lot behind the sell point here, $147,000. Got a couple empty lots in town, $206 and $86,000. And then we have the Razwood factory, $27,000. And then if you're being a little adventurous, you just buy some building plots here in town, $15,000, $5,000, just big enough really to put down your farmhouse and maybe a garage. Something else you might notice here about the map is that really the only crops that are being planted here are soybeans and cotton. Those are pretty much the primary crops that the AI farmers are going to plant. That is because those are the main crops of this particular area in Florida. Take a look at our sell points. We really have two main sell points for our grain crops. Deep South Greenery A and B. We'll buy all of our standard crops. We have the Southern Ag potato sales and Southern Ag sugar beet sales, and then Southern Ag sugarcane sales for our root crops. We have a cotton sell point for our cotton, 2 sell points for our eggs. We do have a dairy here at the bottom, White Sands Dairy. Farmland wool, we'll buy our wool. We have a wood chip sell point and a log sell point at the sawmill. And then basically we have the garden center silage sell point, which will buy our silage in bulk. We have a straw sell point to buy our hay and grass. Our straw and hay, And then we have the compost also available for sale at the silage sell point in the garden center. Take a look here at our starting equipment. It's all fairly brand new, well maintained, and it's all right across the street from the shop. We'll take a closer look at that here in a moment, so we don't start with any animals. And we do have contracts on the map, custom transport contracts, and then contracts obviously on the fields. So field 10 is 4.24 acres, field 20 is 15 acres, and field 6 is 13. So 6, 20, and 10. So here's 6, 20, and then 10, just to give you a frame of reference. Let's take a look at that starting equipment. Now again, we are in new farmer mode. New farmer mode does not include any farmland, but it includes a heap load of farming equipment. So we've got several tractors with a Massey Ferguson 7719, Case 7250 Pro, the Case 380 CVX, John Deere 7310R, the New Holland T7 315, and we have the Warrior semi-truck, John Deere T560 harvester, New Holland FR 780 forage harvester, the Module Express 635 cotton harvester, Massey Ferguson telehandler, our pickup truck, Load King semi-trailer, Joskins Transpace trailer, Kinsey grain cart. Then we have the grain header for our John Deere harvester, as well as our pickup header for our forage harvester. Got a cotton module trailer, and I have to tell you, this is going to be your preferred way of hauling cotton. That bigger trailer is going to be really difficult to get into the cotton sell point. I'll show that off in a bit. Got the Vanderstand cultivator, the Agrosim Cultiplow. Then we have the Limpkin planter with the front seed hopper for that. I guess that's a fertilized hopper. Then we have the Kuhn sprayer, the Breedall spreader. We have then part of the Anderson pack, the bio baler, the round bale pickup wagon. Then we have the Stepa forage, not the forage, but the forestry trailer. We have the stump grinder, and then we have the telehandler pallet forks. That is all down here at the shop, other than our pickup truck, which is right here. So we start the map out, first time career save here at the community center. Right across the street conveniently from Century 21, our realtor, so that we can handily buy our fields. The realty shop. Let's drive down to the shop and just take a look at this massive fleet of equipment. You have dynamic traffic here, so the traffic on this road will go at 25 miles per hour. Traffic on the main road will run at a faster clip. Sell points do open and close at specific hours of the day. It's almost 7:30 in the morning here, so we may find some of these sell points are closed, and some of the sell points may be open at this hour. So, for example, this farmland, this sell point is open because the bollards are down, whereas the animal dealer here to our right, they are still closed because that gate is not open. So you will not have too many late night selling of products or buying of products. So like they're open for business. Here we have the cotton sell point. We're going to take a closer look at all of this stuff here in a little bit. And the reason all of this stuff is down here at the shop is because you don't own any of the farms. It's all set up so you can basically buy your farm and then move what you want to keep up to the appropriate farm. See, here we are, starting kind of smallest, working our way up. As far as equipment goes, of course, if we sell all of this off, we'll see we start with a pretty good nest egg that we can use to finance buying our fields, buying the equipment that we want to use, and buying our farm. Up to $2 million. $2.4 million. There we go. So $2.6 million. Not really sure why I was saying $3.5 million earlier, but at any rate, so now we are at $2.6 million we can use to buy whatever we want. See down here the Deep South Granary, they are closed. The bollards are up. Basically, if we speed up time, see that they will probably open up around 8 o'clock in the morning. There we go, 8 o'clock. Bollards come down because it is time to open for business. So what we're going to do here is take to the skies, do a little bit of a fly around the map, and we'll come back here, we'll buy a Mahindra, and then do a bit more detailed drive around. Right? So here we are. So one interesting thing about the shop with the bollards, before we go anywhere, we can pretty much buy whatever we want, whenever we want. Your new equipment is going to spawn in over here in this yard across the street. But if we want to sell our items at the shop or repair our items at the shop, we have to wait until they are open. Come around here to the side and do our business here at the side of the building. So looking off in this direction, that is kind of off the map. Map ends right here at this tree line. Here we have the granary A and B. Then we've got the empty plot here kind of behind it and to the side. Also have this large empty plot of land we can buy, clear, do whatever we want with, placeable areas. This particular area is a root crop sell point. We have a smaller plot of land that we can buy and clear. Here's our compost sales. We can buy pig food here. This is where we can sell our wool. We have our animal dealer, which also allows us to buy manure and slurry. Also sell our bales around the corner, but like I said, we'll do a much more detailed drive around. Here we have the Razwood factory. This is where we will make our pre-compost that we will then use to make compost. We have our cotton sell point. This particular area allows us to buy pretty much bulk seed, fertilizer, liquid and solid, herbicide, and lime. the Shell station to provide us with diesel fuel, and the prices on the sign do reflect what we actually pay at the pump. Map is pretty much two roads that meet right here at the crossroads. The blinking light here. On up, we've got field 1 off to the side here with the grass triangle. Field 2, field 6. We've got this treed area here, which we can buy in front of the main arable farm, $71,600. Got the arable farm here, all built out. And then we have the forest. And this is a heck of a forest, I have to say. Do a drive through the forest. We're just going to kind of fly over the forest at this point. See the road. It takes us up into the forest. You'll see that little observation tower off to the side. This observation tower is basically where this is kind of government land immediately on the observation tower. So we can't do our forestry immediately around this observation tower, but I think there's enough trees here for you to get your forestry on without having to worry about getting overly bored at all. There we have the big grass field we talked about. Biggest field on the map is directly in front of us. And then kind of off, tucked in the back corner here, we have a train track. Because we have a train that cuts through the area. Might see that at some point in our tour. Loud train cuts through the bridge, cuts through the back of the map here. Got another grass field up here by the water tower. Cell towers. Making our way down, we have the wood chips and log sell point. So basically, we're going to sell our logs here, where obviously the logs are set up. Wood chips are going to be at the wood chip pile. And there's a very special place to sell bio bales. We'll talk about that here in a little bit. With Marty's Gas and Grill, they will buy your eggs, and also you can purchase fuel from them. Now, this particular field, interesting. This particular field used to be planted in poplar. It used to be planted in soybeans now. That might change also. Might change also with the pre-release copy. So here we have the cow farm and the sheep farm. We have our cow barn there to buy our cows. That's where our slurry will be. Milk trigger. Then we have the sheep pen. And the animals, the sheep and cows, share this area. So they will graze within this area. We have the sheep building there. That's where we will feed our sheep. We have the cow and sheep water troughs. Buy our sheep here at the gate. This is the food area for the cows. Feed them on the right. We put straw here on the left. Manure will pile up here beside the fence. We'll have our wool pallets. And then, there you go. 2 harvest store silos will ferment and convert grass or silage grass or chaff into silage. Fido in the backyard. We have an area for our chickens. Now, something else that has been added to this map is anhydrous ammonia. That is a legitimate fill type on this map. Use it by getting the anhydrous application tools over at Nexus Mods, and I'll have a link to that in the description below. Basically, if you bring your anhydrous tank and pull it up to right here and fill up with anhydrous ammonia, then you go apply that to your fields. Or if you pull up over here onto the left side, you basically just fill with liquid fertilizer. Here is one of the Gsi bins. Scattered around the map, there are Gsi bins and Brock bins. These are the bins that only hold one crop. In Farm Sim 17, they were basically configured to only hold a single crop. I believe this one was configured to only hold corn. That has been changed now with a script from GTX that now will allow you to store any crop you want into that bin, any reasonable grain crop, I should say. You're not going to be able to store potatoes in there. But you're going to be able to store your wheat, your barley, your oats, your canola, your soybeans, your corn into that particular grain bin, with one exception. If it already has corn in it, you can only put corn in it. If it already has wheat in it, you can only put wheat in it. You have to empty the bin entirely before you can use it for another crop. Going over here, we will find another one of those bins. We'll have a Brock bin over here. Tucked away. There's the Brock bin. Again, same principle. One crop at a time. And then we have our pre-compost to compost compacting bunkers. These are not silage bunkers. Do not try to put chaff into here. Do not try to put grass into here. It will not be accepted. The only thing that is accepted in here is the fill type of pre-compost. The way this works is you'd bring your pre-compost in here, you'd put it in the bunker, you would compact it to 100%, you would blanket the product, and you would basically wait for it to turn into compost. You would then uncover it, scoop it up, and take it down to the compost cell point. Here we have the pig area. The pig manure, we've got the slurry around the front. And then right here at the animal gate, this is where we would be delivering or buying our pigs. We have our water trough. We have our food trough. Then over here we have kind of the building area for our pigs. Got a silo system. Now the silo only holds 4 crops. When we come around here with our Mahindra, we'll take a look and see what they hold. And then we have the new above ground storage buildings. This is changed from the first release of the map. This now has kind of a dynamic fill plane. So the fuller that this is with potatoes, the more potatoes you will see piled up in here. If you empty this out of potatoes, then the fill plane will vanish also. That's why there's kind of more sugar beets than potatoes being shown, because there are more sugar beets than potatoes. Let's see, we have 292,000 liters, 293,000 liters of sugar beets. Whereas we only have 243,000 liters of potatoes. Then with respect to our sugar cane, we have 287,000 sugar cane piled up in here. Pretty cool and interesting concept. Guys, that pretty much is the aerial overview of the map. We can get free water down here at the pond. If you've probably paid attention, you can use animal pen extension with this particular map, and if you do that, then you can place your water valves at the water troughs and then use that also. Just going to come back here to the shop, get our Mahindra, and then start doing a bit of a drive around and talk in a bit more detail about all of the given areas. Let's go ahead and get our Mahindra. And while we're here at the shop, let's take a look at some other things that are specific to this map. If we go to tools, we have augers, and in there we have the Brandt auger. This is what we're going to use to empty our rock bins. And then we have the Farm King auger. This is what we're going to use to fill our GSI and rock bins. The tractor and just kind of demonstrate how that works. I'm not gonna go all the way to the baler to set these up at the silos and everything, but I will show you kind of just generally here how they work. So you're gonna basically bring this up to your silo. You're gonna left click and use the up and down to raise and lower the silo in general. Okay, you're gonna get this as where it needs to be. You're gonna back this up. You're gonna put that spout. Okay, you're gonna put this spout over the center of the bin. Okay, left click and left and right to move. Then the second auger, right click, left and right is going to rotate that. Up and down is going to tilt it. Okay. Not sure why I can't get that spun. Pipe out. That's why. Gotta hit pipe out. Put it down there. Okay. Rotate it. So, okay, and then basically we're going to bring our trailer, we're going to put it over this, and we're going to basically be able to dump. It's going to dump, and then basically go up into the grain bin. And then we need to use this for our for our Brock bins. We need to put this under the spout at the bottom of the bin. Go in here, we hook this up. We enter this, we left click to raise it up. Okay, and then basically we can put our trailer underneath that and then fill from our rock bins. Talking about that, let's go to our placeables. We go to animal pens. You'll see we will be able to purchase any of the custom animal areas. Now, all the custom animal areas are already placed on the map. The only reason we would need to purchase one is if we would sell it and then later decide we want to put it back, or if maybe we just want to put one of these in a different area. Also buy a custom yard light. See those scattered around, and a vehicle workshop. Go to silos. You're going to see we have the rock bin to put down. We have the grain silo system at the Arable Farm. We have some fuel tanks. We have the wood chip silo, the small silo at the pig farm, the above ground storage, and this will accept any of these fill types: pre-compost, sugar beets, compost, and grass. We have the Razwood factory, then we have the GSI bin and the harvest store silo. We have all of the different sheds that are in use on the map that we can sell here and buy here. And then we have the various farmhouses that are also available on the map. Now, something I want to show you guys here is, let's go and let's buy the Arable Farm, okay? So if we take a look in our garage, see we don't own anything. That's about to change. Buy the Arable Farm. Now let's go and take a look in our garage. Now we own the silo system, the fuel tank, and all of the buildings, including the farmhouse, that are at the Arable Farm. Okay, so the way this map is set up, it is set up with all of the farms pre-built. You just don't own any. And you have the ability to buy any or all of those farms. And when you buy any or all of those farms, the buildings that are on those farms or the animal areas that are on those farms are then basically your property. You can then go in and sell them, clear them away, demolish them if you want, or place more buildings, including what is there. Now, if you want to place your own farmhouse, you're going to have to, I think, sell all of the farmhouses on the map in order to do that. I think that's just a limitation of the game itself. So as we said, kind of across the street from where we get our vehicles, we have the main farm shop. And then around the side here, we have the customized sell and repair trigger. This is only going to be available when the building is open. I have some equipment graveyard back here. And let's go this way. We'll double back. This is one of those empty plots. Land. Clear the land. Put whatever you want there. This map does not have a BGA, but there are placeable BGAs that you could put down pretty much wherever you wanted. On my playthrough, I'm putting a BGA, building out a BGA in that area right there. So there's some mud, guys. Here's some of the dynamic mud going on. You'll see plenty of mud on this video tour. So without seasons, anywhere that you see water puddled, you're probably going to get mud. May or may not see that in your seasons gameplay, depending on how moist the ground is. So we can buy bulk fertilizer here. This is going to be much cheaper than buying it in pallets. Here we can get liquid fertilizer. Buy lime here at this Meridian bin. We're going to be able to get seed at this Gsi bin. We're going to be able to buy herbicide. These tanks. Then we have the cotton gin. Southern gin. This is where we're going to be able to sell our cotton. Remember I said earlier, you're going to be hard pressed to bring a big cotton trailer in here. It's because the actual sell trigger is under this roof. So you're going to have to come in here and figure out a way of getting into that building, at least getting the tail end of your trailer in that building, so when you unload the cotton, sell. Now we have Southern Ag crop sales. This is going to be for root crop sowing predominantly. Around the back we have the trigger to sell our potatoes right here where I'm at. We have a really cool animation here. It's kind of loud. Anyway, we have a really cool animation. Our potato sorter. Dirt. Potatoes coming over the belts. Getting sorted into 2 different bins. This only runs at certain hours of the day. Depending on when you come down here, you may see it running or may not. Then around the corner here, we have a sell point for sugarcane, about where the vehicle is now. Then we have the sell point for sugar beets. Across the street from Southern Ag Sales, we have the Razwood Factory. This is how we are going to make pre-compost. Razwood Factory takes manure, sugar beets, and straw in those ratios and basically produces pre-compost. And you're going to get your pre-compost out over here at the side of the building. And then you're going to be able to take your pre-compost over to the bunkers, into here in a moment, and compact that and compress it, blanket it, so they can then turn into compost. Some more of the mud. It's just down from the Razwood factory. We have the animal dealer here now open for our business, and we can buy manure from here. It's a little hard to get a manure spreader in here. Probably best to use something like an auger or a belt to get manure in there, but we can buy manure at a very discounted rate. This is where we're going to come to buy our animals. And this animal trailer, it's not something we own, but it is something that we can make use of. See, I can attach to it. Now pull it around. So it's kind of a courtesy trailer provided by the dealership, the livestock sales. Around the corner we have a slurry connection to connect up for some liquid fun. And then all the way around here, around the side, this is where we have the bale sell point. You can bring a semi-trailer full of bales back here. Just have to be a little good with driving. Bring one of those Anderson unload trailers back here. Just need to be careful with your backing up. But it will indeed fit. Across the street we have Farmland. And Farmland is where we are going to sell our compost and silage. Right here. Oh, forgot to lift the doors. And once we lift the doors, we can drive through there. Also at this sell point we have this area, we have the ability to sell our cotton right here at the Farmland. And if you have pigs, if you happen to have pigs, you can buy pre-mixed bulk pig food at a very, very nice price right here out of this little silo. Bulk pig food. Sneak around the corner here. Head down the street here a little bit. We'll now come to our milk buy point. This is where we can sell our milk. They'll buy it from us. We have the White Sands Dairy. And this is where we need to back up our milk trailer. Hook up into the facility. We have good old Dollar General. That is kind of a staple of CCS 101's maps. He doesn't do a map without a Dollar General. I think if he ever did a European map, somehow he would manage to find a way to put Dollar General in it. These lights, they're really cool at night. They backlight. They light from the back. They're semi-translucent. They really do glow quite nice. Southern Buffet. This is a egg purchase point. They'll buy your eggs, and they are also used for transport contracts. Then down this street, we do have those two open plots of land I talked about. We've got a building plot here, then a little smaller plot right next door to it. Again, you could buy for about $15,000 or $5,000 respectively. This, if you remember, is where we started the whole map video at the Walnut Hill Community Center. Let's head up here. You're going to see lots of mud up through here. In 17, this particular field had mud scattered through it. I don't know if we've got that in this version, but I do know that we've got a whole ton of mud up here by the pigs. Pigs are just sloppy, muddy. Thank goodness this road isn't muddy. Now, some of these roads, some of these fields you can definitely merge. Other fields you cannot because they technically have kind of government property, government roads in between them. Let's take a look at the lands area. So here's one in particular. There's an access road right up here between fields 6, 7, and 8. That's a kind of a county access road. You can't clear that out of the way, but you should be able to clear some of these other areas and plow them up. There's also an access road here into the forest that you can't plow up. Let's head back here and talk about the pig farm in a little bit more detail. And dive into them. So we have our slurry. Then we have our food trough, our water trough, and then again, this is where we're going to buy our pigs. Then our straw trigger is, I think it's over here also. This area over here comes with the pig area. This is going to be our sleep trigger if we own the pig farm. See, we don't get a sleep trigger because we don't own this area yet. Magically buy it. And walk up here, you can see we get the sleep trigger. And really, the only thing that I find annoying with Giants is right now, we can't sell this land until we sell all of the buildings that are on it. But we can indeed do that. So now that we own the pig area, we could sell the pig area, sell the pig silo system, sell the white one, sell the fuel tank, all, sell the farmhouse, sell vehicle workshop. We can sell these lights too. I just don't know which one is which. So you can see pretty much we can sell everything here. Not sure why we can't sell these. Again, this is a pre-release copy. I'll have to check with CCS 101, see if we're supposed to be able to sell these. I think we should be able to. But at that point, then, you can basically make this your own area. Light. And yeah. See, if you really don't want pigs, you can get rid of the complete pig area all you want. Now you can put down whatever you want. So up here we have basically the pre-compost facility. More of that. That's the tires are still lost traction because of the mud. So this is where we bring the pre-compost from Razwood, dump it, we compress it, cover it, we let it cook, we unblanket it, and then we go sell our compost. We can also put compost on our fields if we should so wish. Although compost is very valuable as a commodity, so I would not sell it. I would not use it on the field, sorry, I would just sell it. Run over here and we'll take a look at the Brock bin. I'll show you where we need to put that little branch auger. I'm going to put the branch auger under this. Okay? And that'll allow you to fill product out of the bin. I'm going to put the Farm King. I'm going to position it such that it puts grain in the very, very top. Over here to the cow area. Kind of come in through the mud. Kind of come in here through the back. Now, we don't own the cow area, right? We never bought the cow area. See, we don't own the area. Still open and close the buildings. We just can't buy or sell the buildings. Our food trough for our cows. Straw trigger is right here. As I was saying earlier, the manure pile for our cows is going to come up right there. Our sheep wool pallets are going to spawn there. We have the water trough for the sheep, I believe. This is the water trough for the cows. This is a food trough for the sheep. This is where you're going to buy your cows. We have the milk trigger. We have the slurry trigger for our cows. And then we have the harvest store silos. We're going to get our silage out. This is where we're going to dump our chaff or grass to either one of those. We've got a pile of trash. We can sell the trash once we buy this particular farm. Got our fuel tank, and again, we have to fill this with fuel. We'd fill it from this trigger, and we would draw fuel out from this trigger. All the farms have fillable fuel tanks. Workshops also have chickens over here. So we have the food trough, we have our chicken purchase trigger, and then we have the egg drop point. By the cow farm, you can also then basically sell the dog. It seems to come with this particular area. Sheep and the cows, they will both graze in that area. You don't have to buy both. You can have one or the other, or both. Now, I would say the best, in my opinion, the best way to play this map is to start on new farmer mode, buy the fields and farms that you want, sell off whatever equipment you don't want, and if there are any buildings that you don't want, then sell those. But if you start with, now that'll kind of work out the best. I wouldn't come in and basically clear all the land and then put stuff down, just because it's going to be a little difficult to put some of these animal areas down. Here we have the log trigger. Around the side, we have then the wood chip pile. That's where we're going to sell wood chips. You can also sell bio bales. And if you want to sell bio bales, you need to put it into this bin right there. Okay? Not on the ground. You need to put it inside the bin. A little trick is if you bring a belt over here, one of the belts that kind of auto loads belts, or basically a telehandler, you can scoop wood chips in there and get a better price. So you'll take bio bales or wood chips in the bin, but the heap will not take bio bales. It will only take wood chips. We've already talked about the Anhydrous facility. I don't think we need to show that off anymore. Let's run down here to the Arable Farm real quick. We already kind of talked about the horse area, I think. We're right, we have the big grass field. Our anhydrous trigger and our liquid fertilizer trigger. Come back this road, and this is what's going to take us up into the forest. I will say these particular trees in this forest, they always give my system a little bit of a problem. So OBS might drop some frames as I try to drive through there. This is wood chip storage, so we can store our wood chips in here, should we so wish. We have another repair shed here. Let's go ahead and dive on into the forest. Like I said, we might see a little bit of frame drops go on in here. That is because these particular trees seem to do my system a number for some reason. Look, hitting around 50 frames. If I wasn't recording, I would be a little bit higher through here. But again, I blame these trees. Anytime I've seen any map that has a whole bunch of these particular type of trees, they'll do me a bit of a number. What I want to do is I want to get up here to the kind of the clearing area. Show you guys the clearing area. Here we have kind of the forestry area, and once again we have a fuel tank, a fillable fuel tank up here, storage building, other little storage areas, then a nice decent clearing to start working your way through the forest. This is also the cheapest part of the forest to buy. Go ahead and make our way back out. I'll be right back with you once we get outside of this area. See the horse pen? We do have a few horses already in the area, in the pen. So if we buy the horses, we'll horse pen will already start out with, I think, 2 horses. Have the Arable Farm. This garage here. Store a truck in once we buy the area. Big Gsi bin complex. We have our dump and our fill pipes. We have lots of buildings here. We can store our vehicles and implements in. Machine workshop. Got another fuel trailer. Around the back, do have a water trigger. Also back here. Go. And I think what we'll do is we will conclude our tour down at the granary. Granary is right across the street from the Shell station here. Turn here at the blinking light. Turn here into the Deep South Granary. And we basically have 2 places to go. We can go down Tunnel B, which is for wheat, barley, canola, and corn. Or we could go down Tunnel A, which is oats, sunflowers, and soybeans. Tunnel A ends here. You would come out side gate and make your way around the road. Tunnel B dumps here. Then you would basically come out and make your way out the road that way. So guys, that is it. That is Emerald Coast version 3.0. Lots of changes from the original release with respect to how you start the map out. Lots of other cool enhancements. Let me know in the comments, what do you think of Emerald Coast? Did you play it in 17? Did you play it previously in 19? And are you going to upgrade to play it in 19 version 3? Now, I will tell you that I'm told there is a way to basically do your save game, restart your save game with some simple edits. I'll see if I can't find that information out and maybe post it in the description also. Here you can see we've got traffic. You can see the traffic is making decisions which way to turn. We've got traffic going both left and right here at the intersection, which is also a new aspect of version 3. So guys, until next time, happy farming. Be sure to click that like button, subscribe, and ring that notification bell.